Okay, so today's appreciation watch is a Movado executive exclusive? No, corporate exclusive. So this is an older two-tone Movado with the gold ionized plating on the band, as well as the sundial icon and the hands, and then in the inset crown there, the protected crown. So it's a very stylized watch. I don't understand the Movado hate. There's a lot of Movado hate, and I got into watches a year ago, and I quickly accumulated watches, but I had two Movados already. This one is a very sentimental piece to me because this was a gift from my in-laws early on before I married my wife. They brought a set, a larger piece, men and women's set. And I don't know that this cost them much money. I can find this kind of priced anywhere from 400 to 900. I can't imagine at the time they would have paid that much for this gift. But either way, it's not the point. The point is, if they got these for $10 or got them for free, I think they were traveling, so it could have been a cruise, it could have been whatever. It was just a nice gift watch, and a nicer one than I owned from that point on forward for a long time. Still might be it is one of my nicer watches. And then I got a Movado, which I'll do another video on. I actually have it with me. I'm in a car because I'm charging my wife's Tesla for her. This is the modern version of filling up your wife's gas tank. So I'm charging it. I mean, we're traveling together, so I'm charging it for both of us, but I just think it's kind of funny. So then I had this one I actually brought with on this trip, and I sketched this one up already, but I had done the corporate executive SketchUp and notes. So I'm doing this video today. I'll do the other video tomorrow from my home studio, or maybe Wednesday. So anyway, here's what I want to say about the hate on Movado. I instantly got, I'm impressionable. All humans are. It doesn't matter what you think. You're not you're not completely immune to it. And so I at least questioned the quality or value of Movado watches because instantly I just saw people just crapping and shitting on Movado and the company and the quality and whatever. And if you've seen any of these videos, or if I'm simply watching this back to myself, here's a reminder that I didn't know anything about watches. It was all aesthetic, it was all pieces. I really appreciated this beautiful thing as a gift, but I didn't go look up anything about Movado. And so when you learn about the history of this watch and how this company was started and why it was started, and then this particular, which is what Movado's known for, this dot, this very simple, modern, what's called a museum dial, that's the name of it, museum dial. The reality of this museum dial is that it's to represent the sun. So it's not just they slapped on a dot and said that's what Movado means. This is harkens to the aesthetic and simplicity of the sundial, the origin of watches. Also, the first watch to ever be inducted into the Art Museum in New York. And so I'm sure lots of watches and art have since. And this just has so much art history and importance. Yes, it's a quartz watch. Yes, they don't use the best materials. In fact, the other watch that I'm going to do the video on is their K1 mineral crystal, which is not as good as Sapphire. And I think that watch is retails for over $700. And again, that's crazy. It's certainly not what I paid for it. It was one that I got in Jamaica on a group deal while I was getting jewelry for my wife. But the point being, you're not paying for specs with Movado, and I can understand that position. At least in general, your specs are not going to be, you can get much better specs on a watch than what you can for your dollar for value of Movado. But I don't think that's the point of Movado. And I understand that they're fashion watches, especially the bold one. People may not like that one. I personally think it's great with a summery outfit or a slick, mostly white or light linen outfit, going out to dinner or going to, I don't know, a beach club or something like that. But when I want to dress up a little bit and feel summery or lighter aesthetic, I wear a lot of black V-necks. It's 75% of my wardrobe since I retired. But yeah, if I want to dress up a little bit and be a little bit lighter, I'll wear that watch. So anyway, back to this watch. I did jump on the history. So this is the model of this is the 9007215 two-tone. Again, it's stainless steel with gold ionized plating, which will wear over time, but I don't wear this watch enough to have that be a concern. And my mother-in-law, in fact, wears the smaller version of this watch quite frequently, and hers looks beautiful, and I'm sure she got it at the same time. So 20 plus years. My wife and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year in a few weeks, and so that means this is more than a 20-year-old watch. Swiss quartz precision, the exact model, I don't know. Could be ETA. Actually, because it's so old, it probably is ISA, but it might be an ETA movement. The timeline, I'm not sure about that. 3 bar, 30 meters. This is not going in the pool. 42 millimeter diameter. Now, it doesn't wear that big. It really doesn't wear that big. It's got that nice bracelet feel and look on your wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist, so I was surprised when I got the calipers out, and I do caliper these on my own. I don't just look up the specs. I have calipers from my old work. It's a polished bracelet. I've already talked about that. The thickness, though, this is a 6 millimeter thick watch. So this is the thinnest watch I own. And that is part of the vibe of this watch, is how lean it sits on your wrist. It's perfect with a dress shirt. It just looks so frickin' slick. Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful watch. This one is a sapphire crystal. The other one's a K1. This one is sapphire. So this one was built with better specs. And maybe people who are shitting on Movado weren't doing that 20 years ago when this watch was made. And, you know, I suppose that's fair. It does have a deployment clasp. So another thing I really like about this is a very specific style of watch, right? Everything about it is elegant and bracelet and high end. And, you know, if you don't like the two-tone look, then, you know, there you go. You get what you get. But in the absence of that particular dislike, this watch looks amazing. Now, it doesn't really go with sportier clothes or super casual clothes, which interestingly enough is what I'm wearing, but that's what it looks like on the wrist. So at 42, it doesn't look like a bracelet. It certainly doesn't look like my 37 millimeter Seiko. And the two-tone adds to that, and the black dial adds to that, and the pop of that. This one with the gold on the sundial and the hands and the crown and all that, it's just, it's its own vibe. Like, it's just its own, you know, it's just gorgeous. Probably not the best choice with all this casual outfit, but my wife and I are traveling for 3 days, and I have 4 watches because she had a Mayo Clinic appointment. So I, of course, brought my 1978 and wore that to the appointment. So I swapped this morning. And anyway, yeah, I think I've covered it. Here's the thing. Don't shit on Movado. Don't shit on any watch. There's no point. You're not, I mean, I understand maybe you're doing it for clicks or views or whatever, but some Movado watches, like this is an old classic style. The other one I have is crazy avant-garde bold style and couldn't be more polar opposite than this. It's white chrono. Here, I'll just pop it out. I know I'm going to do a video on it, but I had it out earlier, so let's make sure. So you look at that one and then this one. I'm not sure I can get the focus on both at the same time, but like exact polar opposites, right? Ceramic bezel, rubber, silicone, incredibly smooth silicone bracelet. So, but I will agree that the specs on these are so different that you're going to wear them for completely different reasons. Anyway, this one will never go anywhere, period, point blank. It's a gift from my in-laws. I appreciate it at the time. I appreciate it more now. And I, interestingly enough, appreciate it more now that I've listened to all the hate, realized that I was having that kind of weird reaction to the hate and kind of looking down, or at least questioning these two watches in my watch drawer, and then realized what a crock of shit that was. How absolutely absurd that is. Get over it. Stop complaining about Movado. If you want to say Movado doesn't have the specs, spend your money elsewhere, that's fine. But don't say they're gross or horrible or whatever. If you're doing that, you're just, I don't know, find something else more important in your life to be worried about. Okay, keep appreciating your watches. I'm going to keep appreciating mine. See you guys.